I thought I'd try to give you a feel for what it was like to live and work there, rather than the minutiae of the negotiations and all that kind of thing. Because what's fascinating listening to Liliana is the arc of history that she describes. When you're actually part of all of that, you don't realise at all that history is being made in front of your eyes. You're just living from one day to the next. But it is extraordinarily exciting and rewarding to look back and think, gosh, I was there, or I saw this, or I witnessed that. But actually, most of the time, like all our jobs, is 95% of pretty straightforward stuff, and it's only 5% of something that's really extraordinary headline news. I actually I've joined the Foreign Office in 1971. And I actually joined the Foreign Office the weekend Sir Alec Douglas-Hume, who was then Foreign Secretary, threw out 105 Soviet spies from London. Nowadays, I think people don't remember that. But I arrived in the office on that Monday morning of the weekend this had all happened. And I rather feel that shaped my career with the Soviet Union. I headed off to Moscow for the first time in 1975, and it was a very grey place. It was exactly as you imagine it to be, and because of that former expulsion, there were limits on numbers of diplomats, both in the British Embassy in Moscow and the Soviet Embassy in London. So there was always and for some years afterwards, it was always very interesting to make sure that our numbers were always at the same level, and of course there was the occasional expulsion and all the rest of it, and things went a little bit awry. But by and large, that's what we were dealing with. And unlike nowadays, of course, where most embassies and consulates around the world are full of locally engaged staff, including our offices in the Soviet Union, then we were all British diplomats. We'd only have a small collection of local staff certainly in our case, in the British Embassy in the management section. And we just assumed that all of them had another boss somewhere else in the city and in the government organisations.